Hi there.
Welcome.
I'm meteorologist Thompson. Join me.
I am Becky Phelps.
And this is typically where you would see Weekend Watch. And this is kind of still Weekend Watch. We're going to focus on the weekend, but that's because it's the time frame where it's going to be, frankly, bad.
Yeah, I described it to Joe as I'm expecting to freeze my butt off
Oh,
for the next couple days.
Yeah.
That's kind of the baseline expectation. It's just every graphic I've seen from you guys has just been brutal.
I mean, it's accurate too. We are going to have very cold weather, dangerously cold weather in some cases, and people scoff at that sometimes, and they're just like, no, I know what I'm doing. It's winter.
Or they think,
it's winter in Iowa.
I had someone tell me the other day, like, oh, I'm just running to my car, and then I'm gonna be in my car. My car is cold for a little bit still. You know, it's not immediately very warm. You still want to be bundled up even if you're just driving somewhere, you know, if you're not outside for prolonged amounts of time. So we are here for our very first stream in the weather lab, by the way, a very exciting occasion. I've been informed that this light is called snow.
It is.
But snow less of the focus, more that really, frankly, dangerous cold.
Yes, and so let's jump into it, shall we? The first thing that we're going to take a look at is the first alert day, and perhaps you've heard about that. It's been in place at various times this week because of snow and blowing snow yesterday, but for this weekend, it's because of the cold. That's the whole story.
Yep.
Wind chills 30 below or colder look likely during this time. That's why the entire TV9 viewing area is included in a extreme cold warning, which I guess pretty much covers that sort of thing, right?
It's a little less fancy sounding than some of the warnings, I think, but it sums it up real well.
Really does. Extreme cold.
Extreme cold.
And it is. This used to be known as a wind chill warning back in the day. They changed this last year. We didn't have a lot of incidences of this last year.
Really?
Not a ton, but they did change it.
New label.
That new label, their idea is that they changed the cold and the hot alerts to be using the same kind of words. So it's cold weather advisory, heat advisory, extreme cold warning, extreme heat warning.
That makes sense.
Yeah, so
they're more self-explanatory.
That's the idea. Whether
I like that. I need things labeled
you like
simply.
consistency.
Yes.
Fair enough. So this goes in effect tonight at midnight until noon on Friday. That's when wind chills will be at their coldest, and the risk of frostbite will be at its highest. As little as 10 minutes for that. After that, technically a cold weather advisory goes into effect on noon on Friday until noon on Saturday, because wind chills will get a little better. Not a lot.
A little better.
Yeah.
-15.
Woohoo. Big swing toward the warm there.
Sun comes out.
Yeah, it's gonna help a little bit, but even in some cases by the afternoon, it could still be in the -20 to -30 range after that very cold start to the day.
That's just, at first glance, the graph doesn't seem like too bad. The bars are up really high.
Then you saw the negative
Then you
signs.
have to really focus in.
Yeah.
-38 degrees.
Yeah, the weather graphics computers that we use, better known, you may have heard it referred to as Max, does not allow you to plot a bar like that upside down, like a negative. So you do have to watch out for that. You're right.
You got to read these carefully.
Yeah, the scale does matter here. Yeah, so we'll be cold. It's already below zero in many parts of eastern Iowa this evening as we speak to you. And they're going to turn even colder by late Thursday evening. Friday morning is why we have all those school cancellations already. I'd say pretty much everybody, it looks like.
Yeah, I mean, in this kind of, not even close to this almost, school buses have trouble starting. You just don't want kids waiting at the school bus, stop. That it makes perfect sense to just keep everybody home.
Indeed, and that's why we are seeing all those schools gone. And it's probably for the best, again, like you said. Do you remember cold weather days back in your day?
I do. I preferred snow days, I'll be honest. I grew up in town, and I went to Bowman Woods Elementary School. We had a huge hill right next to the school.
Ooh.
And so in lieu sometimes of a snow day, you could just bring your sled to school.
And you would just...
And we would sled all day.
Oh, that's fun.
Which was a blast, an absolute blast.
Yeah.
But also just like getting to stay home and sleep in, like knowing now ahead of time that you don't have school tomorrow, guys, is probably, I mean, I remember that being fantastic. You are not setting an alarm.
Yep.
You are
day ahead was the
relieved.
best. Yeah, on a Friday too.
On a Friday, long weekend.
Friday weekend.
There are some kids that are fist pumping right now.
Oh yeah, big time. And it's nice that they, for like planning purposes and stuff, that they were told like well before school got out even.
Absolutely.
So like, I think people kind of knew. They saw the numbers, they saw the forecast, just kind of used their head and they're like, yeah, that does seem like a day where we're not going to have school, which makes a lot of sense.
But there's always that day where you really think you're not going to have school.
And then you do.
And you keep sitting there staring at the TV thinking, when is my school going to pop on there? And you still have to go.
Yeah. Sometimes, you make a little gamble as a student,
Yeah.
perhaps.
And there's some schools who have virtual learning tomorrow.
Some, and some are doing other things too.
Yeah.
Of course, that's the beauty of it being the 2020s. Is that you can get away with that kind of thing nowadays.
Absolutely.
Not in my day.
Get earlier summer.
I'm
There's a win there too.
I'm very old though, so I don't know anything about that kind of stuff. If you do have to go out tomorrow, and the biggest thing during all this very cold weather is don't, if you don't have to. Now, we understand that people do. People work.
Yes.
And some people work outdoors. If you do work outdoors and you have to work tomorrow, I would imagine a lot of places, it's not construction season in a lot of places, but some still are.
Things happen.
Oh, yeah.
Firefighters, we had firefighters,
Yep.
lots out working today.
Totally.
Pipes burst. Things happen. Emergencies happen.
So the best idea is to limit that time outdoors, take time to warm up in between, and make sure you're dressed in layers. You're a big fan of layers.
I am a noted fan of layers.
Yep,
If
famously.
you tuned into our earlier live stream, if you tuned into any of our live streams, you've probably heard me talk about layers. But just earlier today with Joe Winters, I admitted to currently wearing 2 pairs of socks at this moment.
Not a bad idea.
My feet get cold, guys, and it's so cold outside.
Yep.
Just better safe than sorry.
For sure. Yeah, exactly. It's you don't want to be caught unawares and put yourself in a situation where you could end up with that frostbite or whatever. And so that's what we're trying to avoid here. So layers of clothing that is not skin tight. So think about that like athletic wear,
like leggings.
stuff. Well, think about it like in the summer. Like people wear like compression shorts and like stuff like that. That's because that helps your body cool off because it's pulling the sweat away from your body, pulling the heat away. We don't want to pull the heat away from your body. We don't want to encourage the body's cooling process here. We want to keep it warm, right?
I am learning something right now.
So it's the little buffering layers of air in between those layers that helps to keep you warm. So your body warms up that air and that insulates you from the outside. In addition to the actual preventing of mixing of temperatures between your body and the outside, right? You're wearing like a coat that's like weatherproof, right?
Okay.
That's going to help keep the air inside your coat near your body there anyway. It's a windbreak, right?
I'm reframing
say
my
yes.
outfit for tomorrow.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah, no, this is fantastic information, Corey.
So layers are good. Stay dry too. If your clothes get wet from sweat or
Yeah.
from water, change them.
I have been known to carry around a 3rd pair of socks
Yep.
just in case.
That's a very good example. And of course, do be mindful of how much time you do spend outside. You're not going to freeze immediately, obviously, but frostbite does get into as little as 10 minutes. It's that 30 to about 45 degree range where it's 10 minutes or less. Once you get toward 45 or lower, which does happen, we're not expecting it necessarily in a widespread fashion tomorrow, but we've seen it in Eastern Iowa before. We've been 50, 60 below. On the new wind chill chart. There used to be a different older wind chill chart. I think you guys talked about that a little bit.
Yes.
They reformulated it at one point. So like when I was growing up, there would be times where it'd be like wind chills of like 60 to 80 below. That doesn't happen really around here anymore because of that reformulation. But it was also now better in terms of how it actually feels. So it's a little bit smarter nowadays. But 10 minutes or less, 45 or below, we're talking 5 minutes or less. So that really is a very short amount of time.
Yeah, and that's so intense. And you sometimes think that maybe you can get away with just like running with it without your gloves. Please don't. Please just take every precaution, bundle up all the way, like a scarf
Face
or a
coverings,
gaiter is
Ski
real.
mask,
Yeah,
anything.
yeah, really helpful.
Yep.
Pull your hood up.
Yeah, for sure.
Like it's the difference that
gloves.
makes
Yep.
is so big.
All that stuff.
Yeah.
Big time. And it is, again, just something to take serious. It is, again, something that we've seen. We have experienced this before, but it's not something that we experience every winter day. So it really is the one that you take careful note of. And then we get into the weekend. Or
The
at least
weekend!
the traditional weekend, right? We're talking about Saturday. So here's your more traditional weekend watch wrap up.
Okay.
It will be a little bit warmer.
2 degrees.
Yeah, two above, although some folks, especially north of Highway 20,
Whoa.
not getting out of the negative.
Some snowflakes.
Yeah, the flip side is the potential for a little bit of snowflake activity in some spots. Fortunately, though, it does look like we're going to miss the worst of it, as there will be a real big storm system across much of the country east of the Rockies.
Yeah.
And we are going to miss out on the worst. Now, why is it going to feel a little bit better on Saturday? Well, winds won't be as bad.
Thank goodness.
These are our gusts, so the strongest winds we'll see during the day on Saturday from midnight to midnight, 5 to 10 miles per hour, 15 miles per hour, maybe at most. That's compared to right now where we're in that 20 to 30 mile per hour range. And so that's what's contributing to those very cold wind chills. And as a result, our wind chill picture on Saturday looks a little bit better. Not good. We're still talking about daybreak wind chills.
Guys, don't be mistaken. Do not let your guard down.
Yeah, it's not great. We're still talking 20 below or something on Saturday morning, improving to, well, 5 to 15 below by the afternoon.
It's basically summer.
Basically, it's better. And then remember, we're talking about those frostbite times and stuff. It really does help.
And it gets very relative when it comes to winter weather, you know, because you always see we hit like one nice sunny, like 15 to 20 degree day.
You today were referring to the weather this afternoon is not that bad.
Today at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I came back from my break and I was thrilled.
Sunshine
I was like,
helps.
it's sunny out there.
Yep.
It's really not so bad. It's a little windy, yeah, but not so bad.
Do you know where we crossed the line between the coldest part of the season now? We're gaining average temperature every day.
When we cross the
You
line.
wanted to see.
Wait, hold on. Say that again for me.
So,
It was too
so
fast.
temperature in the season, and we have a graphic for it. I don't have it ready, but
We're gonna mimic
we
it
could
now
show
for
it. So
you.
I'm gonna draw it.
Okay.
So in the winter, temperature curve goes like this, right? I'm gonna have to do it backwards because of the mirror effect of the camera. So the temperature curve goes like this, right?
Okay.
This is January, right around January 16th, 17th,
Oh,
18th.
okay.
And so now we're coming back up the other side.
So like we start getting more sunlight at some point.
Days are getting longer.
We average start getting warmer.
Yes.
When?
Now. We're already in it.
Now?
Now it's a very small increment each day. We're talking tenths of a degree.
Does not feel like now.
No, I know, but we're getting there.
But average.
Yes, not only average, but like our records also are near rock bottom. Our coldest weather ever was in 2019 at the end of January when it was so cold.
I
And schools
remember that.
canceled for like 3 days in a row.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we are close to that too. And so eventually you get to that point, you get high enough on the curve again as we're getting into March where you have no record of negative temperatures. And then you start to get even higher on that curve and you get into the summer where it peaks in late June, early July, a little bit after the solstice. So that's kind of the thing. It's a delay between the first day of winter, first day of summer, and when our temperatures both get their coldest and their warmest.
Can you remind me when winter technically ends? Do you know off the top of your head?
I mean, March, I don't know the exact date, 20th, 21st, 23rd,
Okay.
22nd.
March though?
Somewhere in that range. Yeah, it's
Okay.
March.
I was just curious. Okay.
I don't know what it is this
But
year
there
since
is,
it varies.
on average, hope coming for us.
There is hope coming, but not this weekend.
No.
The thing that we are watching, though, is that big winter storm across portions of the country, and it really is going to affect a lot of areas. I'm going to pull up some of the stuff to deal with that here.
Yeah, this looks scary.
Yeah, it
and
looks-
I mean, it's impacting so much of the country. It just barely us, I think, according to the maps, but
Yeah,
it's
barely.
really hitting a large number of states.
Yeah, for sure. So it is going to affect your weekend, especially if you're traveling basically anywhere south or east of here, where you can see there are big areas of winter storm warnings. That's the area in pink here, stretching from Texas and New Mexico all the way through Kentucky at this point. This bluish color is a winter storm watch that goes all the way up into New England and toward Boston and even southern Maine. And this purple area is an ice storm warning, where they're expecting
Is that?
southeast of
goodness,
Memphis, portions
yeah.
of Louisiana, Arkansas, Mississippi, and Tennessee, as well as northwest Alabama.
Not your normal ice storm places.
Not necessarily. You maybe think more like, they do see them in Oklahoma and Texas. This is kind of the range where you might see them once in a while. And that's more this area toward the Carolinas and Tennessee. For example, this area in Tennessee, I'm going to guess still without seeing what the Weather Service said, yeah, mixed precipitation. So they're expecting snow and sleet of 2 to 8 inches, as well as ice accumulation up to 1/4 inch altogether. So that's a messy mess altogether. And similarly, like here in central Oklahoma, they're talking about in their winter storm warning, it's for 6 or more inches of snow.
Whoa.
And a glaze of ice of at least a couple tenths. And so you get that combination. Down here in Texas, it's going to be more ice than snow. They're talking about mixed precipitation, ice of 1/4 to 1/2 an inch, and up to 3/4 of an inch not ruled out. Snow could also add up to an inch on top of that. So yeah, a lot of trouble. So I'm actually, in this case, not that upset necessarily about seeing the cold air up this way instead. Let's actually pull back here a little bit. This is the Winter Storm Severity Index. We don't show it a lot. The National Weather Service puts this together, and they have it on a 5-color scale here. Extreme is the purple, and that extends across Louisiana into Mississippi.
Okay.
It takes into effect not just the weather, but also like the land and the geography and the population and all sorts of different like static factors.
So this is like, not only is it bad, but it's bad for Kansas.
For there.
It's bad
Correct.
for Arkansas. It's
Yes.
bad. Okay.
So I think that even if you had these outcomes in the portions of Arkansas and Mississippi that we're seeing, if we had this same sort of ice storm warning, it probably would still rank pretty high on the scale up here in eastern Iowa. But I think there's a little bit of an enhancement, especially let's say like the Carolinas and stuff up toward Washington. Remember, they have winter storm watches up toward Boston, but it's only minor to moderate impacts. Now this only goes out 3 days. So it may not fully encompass that if it's toward the start of next week, but that is what they're facing there.
So what we're looking at right now, when is this expected to happen?
Starts today through the next 3 days. This is
Okay.
the index for the next 3 days. And that in eastern Iowa is barely registering. We're on the limited end in far southern Iowa, as we're not expecting this system to really cause a lot of trouble here, which is good news. So
Great for us.
The watch. Basically take everywhere from southern Nebraska, southern Iowa, and just move it all the way to the east. Watch this big area of precipitation develop. Several states of wintry precipitation, rain and thunderstorms down toward Mississippi and Georgia.
Wow.
And then it just moves off to the northeast and causes more trouble up that way too. So just a big mess pretty much everywhere you look. In terms of snowfall accumulation, it's really likely to see that from northern Texas through Oklahoma, Missouri, up through the Ohio Valley into the Great Lakes and New England states. And if you look here around eastern Iowa, notice again that we're not talking about huge areas affected, but there could still be some minor accumulation, especially south of Interstate 80. We'd be talking on the order here, maybe a trace to 2 inches. We may put out a snowfall forecast about this coming up in a little bit, but that's kind of where we're at right now. So snow is not the biggest concern, but it could be a concern for some folks this weekend.
Yeah, especially, if it's windy or anything when you add something in the wintry mix, it just gets a little more like, hey, let's pay attention.
Yeah.
Let's keep an eye on this.
For sure. And we'll be tracking it if things change. There's been that slight northward shift. A couple days ago, we didn't have snow in the forecast. We added it because of a slight trend in that system to be just a little bit farther north. Again, it's not making big leaps that way, and so we're not going to see winter storm watches and warnings, but something to keep an eye out for, sure.
The moral, though, seems to be, at least from my perspective, if you are thinking of traveling south, maybe wait.
Well, and also think about, we'll put this at Sunday at midnight and show you again the map, right?
Okay.
Think about all of these places that are being affected, all at once, by the way.
Yeah.
Dallas, Oklahoma City, Memphis, St. Louis, Indianapolis,
It's going to be hard to get a
Atlanta,
flight.
Washington, D.C. Eventually, it moves up into the northeast with New York and Boston, potentially affecting all of those. These are big cities where a lot of planes go to and from. And so even if you're going somewhere else, the plane you were supposed to go on might be stuck somewhere else. And so the knock-on effects from that can be pretty substantial and can last a while too as they undo and unwind all that disruption.
Okay.
So yeah, even through Monday potentially you could see some of those effects still on a scattered basis around here.
Wow, that is intense.
Fun, right?
Yeah, very fun.
Yeah, so even if we don't get the direct hit, we still see some of those effects, at least from a distance.
Absolutely.
Luckily the weekend wraps up and it's not going to be that bad.
9 degrees.
No first
We
alert
are on
day.
the up and up.
Yeah, no first alert day on Sunday, so we're making progress. It'll be dry. It will be a little bit warmer, like Becky highlighted, but the winds will pick up a little bit. So that's going to counterbalance things a little bit, but our wind chills are still better
We
overall.
were so close.
So close. Sunday morning, still very cold, 10 to 20 below. That's perhaps even just slightly outside of that cold weather advisory level though. So it's not as bad. And by the afternoon, single digits to around 10 below zero. So again, we're talking incremental steps here. It will be pretty cold on Monday morning. So looking ahead to that, you got to keep that in mind. That we're going to keep things pretty chilly there. Could be another morning of maybe some school delays or something in some cases. But it certainly is improving.
Improving, which is
Improving.
relative.
I'm not
Please
saying-
still wear your hats on Monday.
Right. I'm not saying good.
Yeah,
Better.
better.
Better doesn't mean good. Those are not the same.
That's an important lesson.
Yep.
Does not mean good, but better is something I think that we can take.
I think so.
Okay. Anything else we should know?
I don't think so. Any questions that you have?
I think we covered it all. It's going to be brutal, but most brutal like tomorrow and
Tomorrow morning
yeah.
particularly, but still through the day.
Yeah, okay. Just bundle up, guys.
Yep.
Seriously, it is way better to be safe than sorry right now.
Absolutely. So thanks for joining us on behalf of TV9's Becky Phelps. I'm meteorologist Corey Thompson. We'll be back again next week, hopefully with better news for Weekend Watch.
Absolutely.
Excellent. Have a great night.